sweet. Oh, can you do this? A lot of people can do that, but can they do both hands? I love snapping. I like to snap all the time. Like, I do this constantly. There's so many like things that we can do with our hands that are super underrated. But how many things can we do that aren't so cool? How aware are you of your hands? The things that you do with them. Do you think about it? Like when you're grabbing things, when you're fixing your hair, when you're putting on makeup, when you're adjusting a tie. Better be a bow tie, fellas. Gentlemen out there, okay, not to go on a spiel, but bow ties are the way to go, okay? They just are. Trust me, trust me. There's so many things we can do with our hands that are good, right? We can lift other people up, serve with our hands, we can do good things. But what about negative stuff? There's a lot of negative things that we do with our hands. Think of it in like a simple kind of way. What are the things that we do to push people away, to pull ourselves up, to perfect ourselves? What are those things? I'm sure you can think of a million things that are selfish, that we do to glorify ourselves. There's so many big things and small things that we do with our hands all the time that can hurt, that aren't good. But there's so many people in this world that long to help, right? I mean, for the most part, the majority of people want to help other people, want to love other people. But there's always some sort of a catch. Because the thing is, we see everybody else, and everybody else sees us. So even though we may want to go over there and help that homeless person, we know that there's other people watching us. So before we go over there, we're gonna go ahead and put on some gloves because they're probably dirty and we don't want to touch them and get ourselves dirty. This isn't any sort of dig at anybody who's wearing gloves right now because of the pandemic. Just want to put that out there. But it's just to kind of give you like a visual of what we do when we don't give all of ourselves for other people. We kind of only go so far because of what we look like to other people. Because if somebody saw us going over there to that homeless person, but we weren't wearing gloves to keep ourselves from getting dirty, then, oh man, what are they gonna think? Like, they're gonna think I'm dirty now. It doesn't necessarily have to be a homeless person, but think of this in any sort of way. Even if it's just going to talk to somebody that nobody else likes. But that person still needs to be loved and cared for, but nobody talks to that person. But you're like, well, I should go talk to that person, but I don't know, I'm probably gonna look really bad if other people see me talking to them. So maybe I'll just casually kind of go stand beside them, but not too close where it looks like I'm actually interested in them, but I still want to care for them. Don't we do these things in our head all the time? I want to go help, I want to go do something nice, but I'm not going to go all the way just because I don't want to look bad to other people. And I don't know what other people are thinking about me or how I look in their eyes. We're so worried about that. And it's like we deceive ourselves into thinking that we're serving, but we're really not. While we think we're tying an apron around our waist, in reality, we are putting a bib around our neck. And even though the action is the same, it's the heart that isn't. Because our intention is not there. Our intention isn't to serve, but it's to be fed. Because if we look good doing something, then we ourselves feel better about it. How often are we actually putting on an apron instead of a bib? Some time ago, I was really in my head about what other people thought about me. Either physically, what I looked like to other people. I was just super insecure about what I looked like. Even just how I would do things. Even just like my posture, my body language. Like, I was afraid of what other people would think. I was afraid of what they would think about me sitting a certain way or making a certain face. Like, it's super in my head about that, or even just what I was doing. I was like afraid of what other people would think. And I remembered one night God making something super duper clear to me. These words popped into my head and I knew they weren't for me because it wasn't at all what I was thinking. The words were, It's not about what you look like, but how you look. But how you look. How I see. How do I look at people? Not how do people look at me, not how do people see me and what I look like, but how do I look? Because that is where the heart of service comes in. It's not about how I will look to other people by serving and giving of myself and helping, but it's about why I'm actually trying to help. Because the thing is, if you're not willing to take off your gloves to go touch the leper because of what you'll look like to other people, then how you look will never be good. Maybe after this, you'll be more aware of your hands. I don't really know. It's kind of like when somebody says, don't blink, and all of a sudden you're thinking about how many times you're actually blinking. Like, now you're gonna be like super duper aware of your hands. But that's so good. Do it. Be aware of how you're serving, what you're doing, how you are loving through these powerful tools right here. Because these are a weapon, and they can be used to offend or defend, and that's up to you. With that, I will see you in the next video. So long, farewell, adieu, God bless. I don't know if that actually looks cool or just super dumb.